So when you think about in business, we've got a combination to get the kind of results that we're after. We've got the things that we need to do, and then we've got who we need to be.
Right.
And I think if a leadership purpose is not so clearly defined, then who you're being can just change from moment to moment. And one of the scariest things in leadership is inconsistency. So I think that employees who are subject to a leader who's hot and cold and on and off, I know I've worked
that's for people. That's for people in general. I mean, how many of you out there have had somebody that you've met and you're like, oh, I think I could be friends with this person. And so you meet them, you go out a couple of times, and one time they're really cool, and the next time is they're kind of losing their mind, or they're sarcastic, or there's just some real inconsistencies. And this is just in everyday life, right?
Well,
and then you get people don't like inconsistency in other people.
No one likes
good. Think about the friends that you have. The friends that you have, I would guarantee, assuming that they're long-term friends, that they're very consistent in the relationship that you have.
Mm-hmm. So I have a great example. I had a boss back when I was a practicing attorney who was inconsistent, to say the least. So there were times where he was just so super cool, and he was, he had my back, and he was supportive, and he was encouraging, and he was all of those great aspects of leadership that you hope that you get, right?
Yeah, sure.
And on those days, it was really, really great to work for him. However, more times than not, if things had gone bad in his world in any way, shape, or form, he then all of a sudden turned into the jackass boss. Well, that's a technical term, by the way,
Yep.
where he was absolutely so difficult to work for because you didn't know what was going to happen. I mean, everything from he would lose his mind and just start yelling at me or at others. One time he tried to start a fight with one of my partners, and I was sitting in the middle of those two. And when you have somebody that inconsistent, you just don't even know, you don't know how to act or react. So here's what happens. I would show up for work, and I would literally just be a little cautious, a little hesitant, a little anxious each day, wondering, what kind of boss am I going to get today? Mm-hmm. Is it going to be the good boss, or is it going to be the bad boss? Kind of became a running joke about what kind of boss we'd get. And I can guarantee you...
Well, it's very much, I mean, I guess I would say, and I don't want to get too outside of myself here, but it's kind of like the abusive husband or the abusive wife, right? I mean, it's like you walk in and you don't know what you're going to get, and you just walk around on eggshells hoping that this person is in a good place, right? And when they're not, you're like, oh boy, this is going to be bad, right?
Yeah. Are you looking at me like I'm one of those?
No, you used to be. But...
Oh, come on. No, I did not. So, right? I think the point really is, my old boss, who I gave you as an example, he had not tapped into his leadership purpose in such a way that he could use that to keep himself consistent regardless of the difficult times. And that's what you said earlier. It's really easy to lead in good times, but it's when your character is really tested in tough times, or even, when you look outside, those who are in charge of publicly held companies and they're really focused on short-term gains for the shareholders.
Right.
There's so many different things that can pull you away from that purpose if you're not crystal clear